Being out on the water, there's just nothing else like it. The open space, the quiet,
Yeah.
makes you feel closer to nature.
It really does.
But then you see a plastic bottle drifting by, or worse, kind of ruins the mood.
Yeah.
And that's what we're diving into today, how to keep our waterways clean, especially for those of us who love being out on the water. We've got this great article, Practical Tips for Keeping the Sea and Other Waterways Clean, to guide us.
It's all about protecting something we all share and something that brings us so much joy.
Absolutely. This article is written for sailors, but honestly, it's relevant for everyone, don't you think?
Definitely. It really stresses how even small things can make a difference, Like, we're all responsible for protecting our waters no matter where we are.
It's like we're all connected by water in a way.
Exactly. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by these big environmental problems, but this article, it reminds us that we can actually do something. Change starts with us.
Love that. And it's not just like, be responsible. It's like, here's some actual things you can do.
Yeah.
But before we get to the solutions, it does kind of hit you with the reality of the problem first.
Right. It says it straight up. Every single piece of litter, even the tiniest thing, it all hurts the marine environment. It all makes a difference.
It's so easy to think, oh, it's just one bottle.
But if everyone thinks that,
Right.
it adds up. And then there are things we don't even see, like microplastics.
Microplastics. Now, those sound scary. What are those exactly? I'm no marine biologist.
So microplastics are these tiny little bits of plastic that come from bigger pieces of plastic as they break down in the water. You can barely see them, but fish and other marine life, they eat them.
Oh, no.
And then, well, it can move up the food chain.
So you're telling me, when I'm eating my fish, I might be eating plastic too.
It's a possibility.
That is really something to think about. It shows how connected it all is, right? Something you throw away could end up back on your plate.
It's all connected.
Wow. That's why this is so important. But that's what I like about this article. It doesn't just leave you feeling bad, It gives you ways to fix it with 5 practical tips.
And they really are practical. It doesn't matter what kind of boat you have, or if you're a beginner or an expert, you can do these things.
That's great. And it gets you thinking before you even leave the dock. Like the first tip, pack sensibly.
Yeah, it's about thinking ahead. Instead of just grabbing whatever's easy, like plastic bags, plan ahead and bring your own reusable containers.
Like making it a habit, like part of your routine, like checking the weather before you go out.
Exactly. And speaking of being prepared, there's another tip about using things that are already at the harbor, like pump-out stations.
Pump-out stations? I'm not sure everyone knows what those are. Can you explain?
Sure. So pump-out stations are a way to empty the sewage from your boat's toilet the right way. Because if you just dump it into the water, even a little bit, it can cause problems. Bacteria, things like that.
So it's like, don't just flush and forget about it. We have to be aware of where it goes.
Exactly. It's about taking responsibility, even if it's not the most pleasant thing to think about.
It's like anything else. A little effort up front can prevent bigger problems later.
You got it. And it's not just about how we get rid of our garbage. It's also what we bring with us in the first place.
Yeah.
The article says we should try to choose things with less packaging or even better reusable stuff.
It really makes you stop and think the next time you're at the marina store about to grab those individually wrapped snacks.
Right.
Maybe bring your own container of something instead.
Exactly. Little things make a big difference. And everyone on the boat has to be on board too. The article even talks about getting your crew involved, even the kids. Teach them about keeping things clean.
I like that, making it a team effort. Because let's be honest, things can get a little crazy out on the water, especially with kids around.
For sure. Talking about why it matters, even making it fun, can really help them learn good habits.
I can just imagine a kid realizing, hold on, if I drop this plastic bag, it hurt a sea turtle. Suddenly it clicks.
Exactly. It's all about making those connections between what we do and how it affects the ocean. And speaking of affecting the ocean, the article doesn't sugarcoat things. It tells you the real damage that trash can do.
Yeah, it's not just about things looking messy. It's about the harm it causes. Plastic bottles, bags, fishing gear. It all hurts marine life.
It's really sad. Imagine a sea turtle thinking a plastic bag is a jellyfish and trying to eat it. Or a whale tangled up in fishing nets. These things really happen.
That's awful, and definitely not something anyone who cares about the ocean wants to be a part of. Which brings us back to those tips. They might seem simple, but they can really make a difference.
Even the little things help. Like, if you see some trash floating by, just take a minute to pick it up. Imagine if everyone did that.
It would make such a difference. And it's not just about what we do on our own either. The article ends by asking sailors to be ambassadors for the environment.
I love that. It's like, don't just follow the rules, really fight for our oceans and rivers and lakes.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
how can we take that idea beyond sailing? Because we all need to hear that, right?
Absolutely. Think about it. Packing smart, getting rid of waste the right way, being aware of our impact. We can do those things on land too.
It's like changing our whole mindset. Instead
Hmm.
of someone else will deal with it, it's I have to protect what we all share.
That's it. And that change can lead to other good things, like learning about laws and programs that are trying to protect our water. The article mentions governments are starting to do more. What about where you live?
Good point. Are there groups cleaning up beaches? Are there petitions to support sustainable fishing? It's about taking that awareness and turning it into action.
Oh.
And speaking of awareness, this article ends on a line that really stuck with me. Let's work together to keep our oceans blue and our coasts free of waste.
It's simple.
It is,
It
but it's
has.
powerful. Right?
Yeah, powerful because it reminds us that this isn't someone else's problem, it's all of our responsibility.
Exactly. And what I like about this whole deep dive is that it doesn't just tell you about a problem, it gives you actual things you can do about it.
Right, you come away feeling like you can actually make a difference, not just overwhelmed.
Totally. And you realize that all those little things, when enough people do them, can really add up. So next time you're getting ready for a day on the water, remember what we talked about today.
Pack those reusable containers.
Be careful with your trash.
Tell other people about it.
And if you see some plastic floating by,
Fish it out.
exactly. Let's all do our part to keep our waters clean and healthy for ourselves and for the future. Until next time, happy sailing.